Good morning, everyone. Thanks for tuning in again. Uh, the last time we talked about possibly finding children who had given birth as young children to the next heir of whatever family or aristocracy they belonged in or to. Not something that we like to see today. We know there are places in the world where this may still occur, but it doesn't hopefully occur here too often because we want our kids to have that opportunity to be children. But I just wanted you to not be shocked sometimes when you come across that, or if you come across a date that you go, this doesn't compute, just do a little bit more work and you may find out that is the case there. I wanted to ask you to think about when you're doing your work, your family history and your work, to think about what was going on at the time you're looking into. For example, this morning I thought, well, what would 100 years ago look like a little bit today? So I thought I would just look at it. If I were looking for somebody in that era or that time area, I would look at that. So I looked at 1918. It said Americans still drove Model Ts. Charlie Chaplin was a famous movie star, but back then the movies were silent, so you didn't hear him talking. It was all done with print on the front. The Eiffel Tower was the tallest structure on earth. Well, we have seen some magnificent buildings created across the world that are much, much taller than the Eiffel Tower. Children between the ages of 13 and 19 were just called young people. They did not start becoming teenagers or being called teenagers until the 40s, when the education standards changed and they had to register for high school. It was only until then, and only about 9% of all children during that time frame before the 40s actually ever graduated. Very, very small, because they worked. Our kids today get have the privilege and the ability to go to school, and that's a great thing. The young people had to work back then, so it was a little rougher on them. Woodrow Wilson was a Democrat from New Jersey. He became the president. He's best known for his foreign policy and leadership during World War I. And he went to Congress and said, we need to make the world a safer place. That was kind of his mantra and what he lived on. Well, it's the day after the election here, and what an election it was. It's been truly wonderful. As I get older and I think back of when I first voted, and then I've tried to vote every time, and sometimes I feel like I get it right and sometimes I don't, and I understand things and I don't, and I didn't know that law existed. But it's a big job to run this nation. It's a huge responsibility. Just running a household is a huge responsibility, and those people go through a lot to be up there and do what they do for our nation. I think what's so absolutely wonderful from this election is witnessing all of the diversity, all of the cultures, all of the possibilities, all of the ideals that have come into our nation and be put on a table for us to look at, and for our leaders to look at, and make some good changes on, and some good effort on. We're definitely living up to being the melting pot of the world, right? Where we should be able to all be here and live in freedom and peace, and be able to have a democracy. And so grateful for that we're not under some kind of dictatorship where we cannot do that, and we have the ability to vote. I hope you did go out and vote. If you don't, if you did not vote this time, please sign up and go vote when you can. Every vote counts as far as I'm concerned. So it was really great. So many possibilities for the future exist. And I'm sure that Martin Luther King today is looking down and smiling, a big old smile on his face. But one of the things I always loved about that man is that speech from August 28th, 1963, where basically he says that he hoped that one day a man might not be judged by the color of his skin, but by the content of his character. We have so many wonderful and diverse people in this nation and in our families. And so I'm so grateful for them. They have a tough job ahead of them, and I'm not sure I could do it or would want to do it. So I commend all of those people who came out to run, whatever side of the ticket you were on, and all of those people who voted and let their minds be spoken. That was great. It's been a great election. So we have a wonderful nation, and I truly believe God blesses America. My grandpa always told me, don't you worry about who you vote for. You vote what you think. God's got this. He'll take care of the rest. And I truly believe that. So anyways, when you're doing your genealogy, take a look at the time you're in. See what was going on. Do a little history work yourself, and you'll be surprised. it actually helps educate you. There's things I didn't used to have any clue about, but because I read or I go back and look at things and investigate a little bit more, it's just mind-blowing. So enjoy that. Find that ride and enjoy it. I wanted to just remind you there are some real atrocities that go on around us and in the United States, around the world. Families being decimated by people who take their children, little ones not knowing how to behave and hurting little ones. There's just so many things out there. So please watch your children, take care of yourselves, take care of your loved ones. You only get one person, right? When they leave us, they've left us, and while we have are the memories, and hopefully they're good ones. So keep your family safe. Remember, your blood calls you. I am Native by Heart Art by Sean Shelton. If you like what you watch, that's great. Please go to YouTube and subscribe for me. It helps me. If you have questions about your genealogy or your family history, please send them to me. I'd love to hear them and see if I could help you with anything. Anyways, you guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.